Okay, we're back. Last video was just if you're going to Nats, this is what you should expect. Not all that, but at least be prepared for some crazy speed of the current meta. Um, Also, thanks John Hendricks. I think I'm gonna go with your recommendation for a name, Tyler Talks. It's not as good as the other applications that I received, but it's to the point. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks, John. I think I'm going to go with that. He had a good point that being an elder, having that background conversation with the team, in particular, like with Officious Widow, Life in the Sun, Sowing Bountifully, everything, putting a limit for future talks, future videos. I can have like a deck up that pertains to a ruling that we just did and show, hey, this is why we needed it, yada yada. Anyway, so I think I'm going to go with Tyler Talks. Maybe I'll have a little logo. I don't know. I've gotten a lot of recommendations and questions about Patriarchs. It's funny when you bring up Patriarchs, it always seems like, and I mean, I've said this before, they're good. You kind of want to make them with I like Edomals, Edomites and animals, but you usually make them with Crimson, just blue in general, and because it just so much synergy there with really these cards are great, and you can play others as well. Grabbing a Covenant with Book of the Covenant, getting a constant draw 1, and then grabbing an animal, getting a constant draw 2, as long as you have them in here, is really good. But people asked me about Patriarchs, and what I kept hearing was Patriarchs are good. They just, for some reason, can't get the job done. Like, they're up there in the top tier, but everyone kind of has them in regard to the same spot. So I was wondering, how do you make them like one of the best offenses? So Jay and I were talking about another deck that I brought up to him that I thought he would really like, and he loved it. Maybe I'll do that video. I don't know. He might want to play it at Nats, he was saying. So I might not do that video, but it's really fun, really solid deck concept, and it's a very Jay style. And that brought us into a little cycle with us talking about Noah, Faith to Samuel. And I was thinking, well, blue has a lot of green heroes, so you could easily play Faith to Samuel, and you can do the whole Noah shuffle a card. You can shuffle in what was banded to you, and you still get the draw 3 off Faith to Samuel. So that's pretty good. So I was wondering how to make this offense better, and the only thing really I could think of was abandon Noah and have Mary to protect Noah. So you prevent cards, you abandon Noah, and then you recycle your enhancement that you just used. So it's kind of a rinse and repeat. I was like, well, how else can you make that like better? Because I was like, if I got Faith to Samuel, I might as well capitalize on that. I can abandon Cloud Heroes and still get a draw 3. So I ended up going with what's called, this build is Cloud Patriarchs. Another thing about Patriarchs is people can say, oh, that like a Patriarchs build. I'm going to be honest. I don't know what that means. Like, is that Isaac, Jacob, Faith of Abraham? How many Patriarchs do you need in a Patriarchs build? Do you need Judah? Do you need a lot? Like, I don't know. So this is enough to get Father Abraham's draw. And usually I only do a draw 2 off Father Abraham. I did bring in Enoch. We were talking in Discord, and I'm sorry, I meant to do my homework and see who said it. I'm so sorry. But talking about bringing in Enoch as well into a Patriarchs. I said, might as well. Like, it's a Cloud hero, and he's green blue. So, and he has an ongoing ability. And worst case scenario, I could get a 1, 2, and a 3. No, I can't get a draw 3 off him. So I could get like Noah as Meek if I can't bounce him, Enoch as Meek, and I can get an Enoch draw 2 if he's banded in. So just know what you can do with your cards while they're in their deck, just because you don't always attack with people and still know what they can do. So I'm going to show you what this deck does. But the point of it is, usually I do this, I'll move aside some cards. So of course we do have Golden Calf and the Cross, the Golden Cross, as I like to say. This one is at 51. And we are playing Covet in this. I do like Humble with all the negating going around. I really like Humble. I think that's pretty much a staple. The only reason that I have Covet in here is because I rely heavily on protection. I did have Melchizedek in here as well, but I rely heavily on protection. So I try to Covet, and Hunter can probably also go in here, but I'm trying to take, because I have a Wander, I'm trying to take your Wicked Lawful, which is this one. So I'm trying to take your first evil enhancement you play each battle is regardless of protect. I'm trying to make sure that's not in my way, due to mostly having Mary out turn 2 if I can. So this was really hard to get the deck down. It's at 51. Like per the usual, I never really playtest a 50 card deck. I like playtesting extra cards in a deck to see what is normally needed and what's not. What am I relying on? And do I have ways, if I rely on it, to get it back if needed? Or do I just not play and it's one of those in theory decks or cards? Okay, so what does this offense do? What makes it actually good? This is a rinse and repeat deck. You can go out this a lot of different ways. That's what makes it really good. Like you could start with any of the heroes. But what I like to do is, because you'll have a 1/1 for initiative, you can do Father Abraham and you could play Isaac from deck. But usually we're trying to get to a numerous as the stars very early. Don't tell John early, but I have thought about bringing in the New Covenant in reserve and going to the New Covenant to grab Emmaus Road, to grab numerous as the stars, just to make sure I have it. Even if we get numerous as the stars for 1 or 2, we still go to it. And I'll show you that hopefully in the video. So we usually go Father Abraham, play, get a little draw. We're trying to pop out a couple heroes first. The first 2 heroes we're trying to grab from numerous as the stars are these 2. Now there's other ways you can get heroes in Genesis, but I'm finding enough consistency with just recycling numerous as the stars early, first very strong attack first, and then recycling and then playing it again. And once again, I'll show you how to do that. But I come out, how convenient, I have Abraham's Descendant on Abraham if I don't have initiative or if they play something, but regardless, it's really nice as well. Negate an evil enhancement or curse, bounce it or take it. Like that's really nice if for some reason I don't have initiative, or if I play this on someone else later on, I can take what they had, which is really nice for a 3-color evil character, brown, crimson, and a multicolor. So that is nice to keep in mind. All right. So I did numerous as the stars. I took 2 heroes out of my deck, being Noah, Jeremiah, and I go to Jeremiah. Then I go to Noah. Jeremiah, his ability activates first, so I get to look at their hand. I get to toss the next evil enhancement, play this battle, and then he top decks himself if he's harmed. Then Noah comes in. You may convert this card to Meek to prevent cards. Prevent does not go backwards, so everyone that comes in first works. Everyone after Noah stops. You may shuffle a card, except a human may banish him. Okay, so now I shuffle Abraham's Descendant. This is usually my first attack, some sort of version. I don't necessarily care who I attack with first. So a lot of times it's Jacob, because I go Jacob straight to Abraham's Descendant in my deck. So yeah, because I can use this as a negate for what you play. So now I toss the next and I prevent what you play. To me, that is a first turn rescue. So cool, now I have them out. And I got to draw 2 off this. So I'm good. Next turn, I'll I'll show you how I do that, but I try to go to other ways of getting back to other cards I need. But regardless, I'll attack, and what eventually happens is I'll play first sacrifice pre-battle, attack with Hezron, top deck, first sacrifice, and then play Abraham's Descendant. Or if Abraham's Descendant is discarded, then I can work around that as well. That's why I do have 2 bans. I actually do need 2 banding cards. Regardless, let's say I didn't use Abraham's Descendant first turn, I used something else. And I played Abraham's Descendant, and then I banned in, and I bounced Noah, and then I banned in Jacob. These 3, I usually have him bounced, and I banned him. Same with Faith of Samuel. I don't do it on Hezron though. I really like to band in Hezron. So let's say we go out with Jacob and we play Faith of Samuel to band any number. Once again, I play first sacrifice before I attack. So this is in my discard, and then I do the band. You could also bring in Jared, and I'll show you why I have Jared in here as well. So let's say I do Faith of Samuel. I band in Hezron. You may take top deck a blue Genesis, right? Top deck a blue Genesis enhancement from discard pile. No clue why that says blue Genesis. Oh, so you can't do evil. I was gonna say blue equals Genesis, but yeah, so that's so you can't do evil. Still do neutral. So you can top deck a blue Genesis enhancement from discard pile. So I put first sacrifice back on the deck. I'll be honest with y'all, I like to attack with Enoch a lot because I like Jacob in battle. So let's just say I do it this way because this is the way I like to. And then I'll band in Hezron, Jeremiah, Faith of Abraham, and get a draw. Then I bring in Jacob, and I just top decked off Hezron. So I'll bring in Jacob, and then I'll just take first sacrifice. And then I'll bring in Noah, and I will shuffle this. What also makes this so good is Mary's out. While you do not control, this is an ongoing ability, while you do not control a good enhancement in battle, protect your meek heroes from harm. So this ongoing ability, when Noah shuffles the only enhancement in battle, my meek heroes are protected again. So it's really cool. This is a rinse and repeat deck. Faith can also shuffle back Faith of Samuel if I lose it. And then I lose Faith, but it shuffles back Faith of Samuel. I'm playing first sacrifice a lot, plus Jeremiah. So you have to constantly get past a Jeremiah and a first sacrifice over and over. And when I look at your hand and underdeck something, no, you have to toss something else, and I prevent cards. It's really hard to deal with, also with protection. So, and then when I bring in, like, Jeremiah is not a Genesis hero, so he cannot be banded into off Age Descendant. But if I play Age Descendant off someone and I bring in Jared, he may convert this card to Meek, which is what we want. We do want to be Meek, and he bans to a Cloud hero. So now I have another protected hero, and he bans to a Cloud hero. So I can band in Jeremiah through Abraham's Descendant. I'm reliant on my heroes. So, and especially Mary. So I do have Noah's Ark in here. I get this out with Emmaus Road. I have my Oath of Purity. I had Book of the Law in here. I really love Book of the Law, especially when you can attack with a Noah first turn with Book of the Law down, with, like, you can go Emmaus Road to Offering Your Son and go straight to a Book of the Law. And then you can attack with Noah, prevent cards, and have a 10-11 that if they block from hand, you get a card from deck. That's really good. But it's not in here because with negate neutrals flying around, Book of the Covenant lets your covenants, they're CBN. So if I snag them real quick, and then now I can bounce and have this take animals and draw 2, and that's CBN. So it does this similar enough thing with Book Oath compared to Book of the Law. So I, as much as it hurt me, I took it out. I'm still back and forth on Crowd's Choice. That could be a Grapes of Wrath or Shipwreck. I'm still not entirely sure. I think it might have to be a Shipwreck because right now, if they play Storehouse, I'm using Woes for Storehouse, but I'm seeing a lot of Disciples and I'm not seeing as much Storehouse in general. So, but Shipwreck's really good regardless. I'm still not sure about that. So yeah, that's the offense. Rinse and repeat. Hezron takes it from discard and top decks it. Jacob takes it from deck, and you're protected most of your stuff. All right, 51 card, Cloud Pats. Let's see if this thing actually works. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right, we got Covet, this. Make sure I'm recording because last time I was not. It's funny because whenever you hit end, you don't realize you're always recording. You have to see that tiny little recording. Okay, so bunch of star abilities. Let's see what we want to use. Top deck an animal from reserve, doesn't work. Reveal hand, there's a hero, so that doesn't work. Top deck a Patriarch from deck, that works, but we're gonna shuffle anyway and grab a cloud hero. So we don't have to show them that. We could top deck Father Abraham. It also depends on if you go first or not. So if I didn't go first here, I would top deck Father Abraham and then draw into Father Abraham. And I can play it that way. Like I say, whenever I'm in the stage of playtesting early on, I like to playtest. I like to go first just to see if the deck can set up. Like, what can the deck do consistently turn one? So we don't have to top deck a Patriarch from deck. Always discard the top card. Delivered should be in every deck, no matter what anyone says, no matter how many national titles they've won, and no matter how much better they are than me at the game. It's not true. Delivered doesn't have to go into every deck, but it can. All right, so I got to discard one. Oh, what do you know? I hit their Son of God. So now I will go first. You have to think. We have other, like Emmaus Road. If somehow I drew into an Emmaus Road or something, like if they played Mayhem or something, we're trying to get to Emmaus Road numerous as a stars. So before you even put down a hero, if I put down Isaac, one, Father Abraham can play him as Meek if in a pinch, he can come down. But I'm looking for ways to play Emmaus Road numerous as a stars. If I put down Isaac and something happened, then I can't play numerous as stars off him. So you're going to want to put down Jacob. You're going to want to play Faith because Jacob can get numerous as a stars. And I can grab another star card here. So I'll have another hero for star. Jacob would grab numerous as a stars. And I would be able to play it and reveal it for 4. And we already have a negate. So we're going to go straight into Noah. So we're going to shuffle up. We don't need to shuffle because we're about to take a card. And we're going to attack. And this is a really good opening hand, but this deck kind of does that anyway. There's a lot of cards that go to each other. And we're going to take numerous as the stars. And that's why we didn't want to put Isaac down because he still plays it. So it doesn't matter. Don't worry about what I just said. So now Jacob attacks. If you have to play Abraham's descendant to Noah to win the battle, that is perfectly okay. We don't want to band here. He could band to a Patriarch. You could play a Great Fish prior to, and you could, this is why you always have to think about your attacks. And then you could band in Isaac, then Noah, and you would get to play Esau from deck and get a draw 2, and then shuffle back in Abraham's descendant. The only reason I didn't do that is because I forgot that, and I was focused on wanting star cards in my hand for numerous sets of stars. But getting a draw 2 and playing Esau is not bad as well. But Great Fish Chronicles is a very good first block. Okay, so I play Abe's Descendant. I band in Noah. I flip them. This gets shuffled. And I still have 2 cards for numerous. So I'm going to say that won the battle. Great job. And we're going to play numerous. Now, no, with numerous, it's tough to play first turn. And we're trying to get it first turn because, and we could probably put in like a couple more. We probably put in Betrayal and other good star cards that have crimson in them. Because we're trying to, this reveals star cards, not good. So we're trying to maximize this. But there's only a few heroes that I really want to get early, and I can get one of them through Faith. I can get a lot of them through Faith. So this takes any human heroes from deck, discard pile, and or reserve. And then I can rinse and repeat this. So that's actually why Noah's Ark wasn't in the deck originally. And then I just felt more comfortable having Noah's Ark out without having to rely on recycling this just in case people died. So I now can go to any heroes in the deck. I could go to Enosh and negate your neutrals. I'm definitely going to go to Jeremiah because that's what the deck is doing. And I'm probably going to go straight to Hezron. Now I go to Hezron because I can just attack with Hezron next turn and put numerous as a stars back in my deck. Or I can go to Jacob, go straight to Abe's Descendant, band in Hezron, and get numerous as stars back. Remember, that's what we're trying to do. So all this goes to hand. This goes to discard. Do I want to deliver it into anything? I could deliver it into Golden Calf or the Cross first turn. I do have Chronicles Great Fish. I think, did I say that? Did I put a R in fish? I do have Chronicles Great Fish. Nailed it. So I don't have to go to the Cross, but I can go to Golden Calf. Golden Calf. Yeah, I did say it right. I just constantly say Golden Cross all the time now. So they're interchangeable. I'm just wondering, do I want to have 4 minimum star cards, which I won't because he'll probably be in play. So I'll have 3 star cards. If I play this, I'll have 2. I still think that's really good to get the advantage of Calf first turn. And to quote John Early, I don't think I've seen a deck list that Tyler has put out without Golden Calf. You're correct, John. All right, so now it's my turn, or it's my turn to block. I'm going to eat you. No, and I can play Chronicles as needed. This is a really good block right here because I have to negate the evil card, negate up to X cards. Let me set aside a hero for 3 turns, shuffle this card. That's usually a block first turn. Let's just say Chronicles was played. Let's give them the advantage. They had a negate, and you got your block off. Okay. Woohoo. Now we got the calf up, nothing on upkeep. And there's more ways to go into Storehouse. I really, really, really like Storehouse first turn because of all the Matthews running around. If you put down Storehouse, they don't get, if you get to go first and you slam, you put down Storehouse first turn, they don't get a draw. And if they don't get a draw, you're already putting them on tilt because Matthew players, sorry, Jeremy Chambers, Matthew players are, and Rob M, are really focused on Matthew. They love getting that advantage, and they should. It's phenomenal. They want to go, they want to push with Matthew first turn. So if you can play a really good card like Storehouse to give you reserve access immediately is already advantage, and to protect your hand and they don't get to draw, that's really, really good. Also, I'm sorry, the whole point I'm sharing this deck is Bingaling requested a Patriarchs if I had one. He was asking a few people, and I said, yeah, mine's a little different though. So I said, well, you know what? I want to do another video anyway. So where were we? We drew some stuff. I blabbered on. The great fish is gone. Dude, I think I put an R in it every time I say it. The great fish. Okay, so now we have to reveal numerous as of stars. We have to reveal star cards from hand in order to maximize numerous as of stars. So we might not want to put down Enoch unless they had an artifact we needed to negate. So we can band from hand, so we don't have to show them anything. Even though we already showed them, people tend to forget, like me. I look at your hand and I will forget in 2 seconds. So we don't have a way to go to you. I'll be honest, usually I go delivered to Book of the Covenant to have it ready turn 2 for Noah. But then you just have Book of the Covenant sitting there as a target, and it's not great. But I like being able to bounce. That's why I miss Book of the Law, having another way to bounce. I don't have Perez in here, which, fun fact, this deck that bans so much, if you banned in Jeremiah and then banned in Perez, it's pretty much an auto bounce. It's just like Ahimelech David back in the day, because you toss the next thing they play and Perez bounces a character with strength greater than 2. And that can come back into the deck because Perez gives me my bounce for Noah. Like I can come out with Perez, bounce Noah, and then banned. So he actually probably should come back into the deck. I'm just not sure who I would take out for that. And maybe no one. Maybe I just add him and it's 52. Adam, get it? Genesis. Okay. So I'm going to go home. Attack with Jacob. I go to a Genesis enhancement. Yada, yada. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. You'll never know. If they block and they do something, I play this. Now I don't have the Noah prevent. I don't have the shuffle this. I don't have the protection going on. Oh, well, that's fine. This is probably where you're going to want to play. Now, remember, I didn't play an animal for this, but I do have a meek hero. So I don't always explain everything I do. Sometimes it just works. Sometimes it doesn't. So you may play Jacob or Esau from deck or reserve. I will 100%. If I look in Lackey for a card in my deck, it is 100% of the time I will skim over it and then I'll find it. It's like plugging in a USB. You'll put it in the right way, but it won't work. And then you'll flip it over and it'll still be the wrong way. And then you flip it over again. And it's like, what happened? Science. So if an animal or meek hero is in play, you may draw 2. That's pretty neat. Hezron, you may top deck a blue. It's like, why don't you play Rue? Because usually I just go to Jacob and Rue is taking up a good hero slot. Top deck that. And then Jeremiah tosses the next. I also have that. I just play that too. Whatever. We don't always want to give the advantage to yourself. Okay, bunch of heroes out. You can play that if needed. Now we like having negate neutrals out early, but we only have 1 star card and we know numerous as a stars is next. And all we want, remember, numerous grabs Mary. I showed you all that so you would believe me. So we do want to have at least 1 star card in our hand unless we had to negate neutrals. Okay, now we want to make sure you may take an animal or Edomite from deck. If blocking, you may discard an animal to draw 2, which you can do that from hand and play an OT enhancement. So we're good here. We don't need to put anything down. We don't have much from a blocking perspective. We like having hypocrisy as both. This defense is really good against the current meta, in my opinion. I really like banding to Nebi, but the wing line doesn't actually count as a line for banding, which I understand why, but still, or else he'd be in here because I love banding to Nebi and having that extra character and a toss. But I don't have much, like unless you have a Seized by Babylon or Anthropophobia, there's not really too many negates. I actually like playing straight animals, or I'm sorry, straight Edomites to have destroying bans to where you have other interrupts and stuff like that, because just Crimson doesn't have much. They actually lost. I do think Babylonians lost a lot in rotation. but that's okay. They were great for like 12 years. It's okay, guys. Okay, so if I block here and I don't feel like I have a lot of strong blocks, yes, I could draw 2 and play nothing because that's not OT. So I can draw 2 and do nothing. I can have an 11-10 that tosses the next that you play, which is pretty much like, hey, waste a card and get around. Or I can get a first strike, which people don't even like remember what first strike is. And then you got to discard a good card and I get to draw 1. I think depending on what you attack with would be this, just to make you waste something, assuming it's someone small. This would be really funny if it was like Jeremiah versus Nebi. So we'll say they had 2 stuff. I had 2 enhancements and they had to waste 1. So there you go. Hard fought battle. Hey, what do you know? And we got no other stars. Upkeep, nothing. And we play numerous and we show Enosh. And we do want to play Mary. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Usually I have Emmaus Road, Offering Your Son, or maybe I shouldn't have delivered into Golden Calf. This is why I don't do that. But I had an audience, so got all worked up. I do have Crowd's Choice though, and I really feel comfortable with having Mary out and flipping, like being able to flip Noah in battle. So I go to the most flexible card in the game, Crowd's Choice, and I go straight to Book of the Covenant. Usually this deck is a lot faster. It's actually one of my slower times because I didn't get that book to get the draw. That's a lot of my speed up front too. So now I can bounce, and you can bounce 2 humans in a territory. So once you pick the territory, they're bounced. It's got to be in that territory that you picked. And I can bounce up to 2. There's no point in having my evil character down. That does nothing. So I don't need numerous as a stars anymore. Like, yeah, I can get other heroes out of my deck, but negating their neutrals, you're going to want to keep that. So look in your discard real quick. Abraham's Descendants there. You really don't have a way to do much. So if we attack with Isaac, we get a draw 2. If we want, we would have to put down a lion. We could get a draw 2. Jacob can go to a Genesis, but our main one's right here. And we could add Bless the Nations to the deck. I just really like having Faith to get Faith of Samuel as the band. So we don't have a lot here. We could attack with Hezron to set up the block, to set up the attack next time. And that's where you just top deck Abe's Descendant. And then CBN, if you control a Meek hero, depending on what they had, I probably would have just played Noah down as Meek after I bounced him. Once I put it together, hey, I am going to attack with Hezron, just so it's CBN. That's probably what I would have done. So we're going to do it. No takebacks, but a takeback. So let's just say he dies. Cool. I probably would have honestly played that by now if I didn't get one right there. Just would have played it out of spite. So no lost souls out. Let's say they generate some though. I might have to rethink my enhancements because I have nothing. If we go to deck editor, can't play that, can't play that, can't play that. So yeah, I might have to rethink my enhancements. I switched from scattered over to like CBP. Right? Hypocrisy and dissension, withdraw all heroes CBP, and hypocrisy, bounce all CBP or any number. But in no way do they work for Charioteers or Esau because scattered used to be in here. And I was like, I have the cross. There's cross flying around everywhere. Michael's the top 5 deck or offense. Even Goshen is played. Like there's too many ways to toss multi-brigade CBN cards. Now I don't have a point in playing the first ulti. I only have one card to play first, and it's an interrupt. Woohoo. Hey, but it's CBP. So let's say they generated, make them discard, get a draw. We can die, and we'll say they generate a lost soul and they got it. So tight game, everybody. Upkeep, you do get a draw on this because you have a covenant active. And I hate not having a temple in here, but there's really no need for a temple. Like, yeah, Solomon's Temple, I can discard Faith as a teal card to instead Jeremiah, but that's not needed. It's just to have, and if I had temple, some sort of temple, I would love to have Book of the Law, but I would have to have a temple that holds Book of the Law, which, as we saw in Jaden's video, is not Herod's Temple. Also, Jaden nailed what the acronym of order on his first try, but at the same time, he wasn't sure if he got it or not. I don't know what else it would have stood for other than what you said. Okay, so now we're kind of lacking a little bit in resources. If only I had a card that would switch the game over for that. So Babel, I do want Storehouse out. So yeah, now we actually have some stuff going. We can go back to our artifacts, and Book of the Covenant can take one from reserve. We are going to take this, and Oath of Purity is going to hit. We're going to bounce. It's up 2, so just bounce the 1. And then we are going to take an animal from reserve. And this just came out weird. Usually I go to Leviathan and I get a better block early on, and I have drawing going. I have some sort of faith at Father Abraham, so maybe I shouldn't have gone to Golden Calf because that kind of changes everything. Getting those couple key cards early. Because as of now, I feel like I'm at a disadvantage and I haven't got my offense going fully like I want it. That all changes now. All right. So we have the band card. We have Father Abraham, who's going to be protected, and he can draw based off of Patriarchs. X does not equal Meek Patriarchs. It's just Patriarchs, and I have 2 out. It's just nice because he could play a Meek Red hero from deck, so I always play Isaac as Meek Red because Mary protects Isaac. He's good to band in. He's an 11/10 that's protected, and Father Abraham gets the additional draw. So Father Abraham should always be a draw 2 at a minimum. And if you have Oath of Purity out, you could also play Jacob the next turn or the first turn, knowing that you're just going to bounce him to have Jacob going. So we attack with Father Abraham because we know we have his descendant going. You're going to convert him and draw 3. Ooh. And then he's now a 1/1 that's protected. It's really hard to stop. This card shuffles itself, so we would maintain initiative. So I take an Old Testament artifact from deck. And this is where you need to know your deck, because now it's like, oh well, nothing there, because we have everything, but I get that star ability back. And if I need the numbers, like if I need those 2/2 numbers for the battle, it doesn't matter because I have Leviathan. So I play Abraham's Descendant, and we get things going. Remember ability activation. So Jeremiah first. So you want to look at their hand. Even though you have to band everyone in, you still want to look at their hand. So I think that's going to be the order. So we're going to bring in Jeremiah, look at their hand. Then we're going to bring in Jacob, and he's going to go to a Genesis enhancement. Like we haven't been able to get first sacrifice going either. And we do have Hezron, who's dead. So we have no way of getting back Hezron or Numen's as stars because they're both in here. RIP. So you may play Jacob or Esau if an animal or meek hero is in play. Okay, so we just whiffed on all this. And then this comes in, shuffles. Good. You still get to toss the next and have prevent. And you have 2 heroes that are protected. So not bad. Now you got actually a block, which I don't think I think these blocks are really strong. Like you can restrict dominance and ban to an animal that gets out Fire from Heaven or Pride of Lions. And then even if they negate this, your animals are protected. You also blocked with an animal, so you get an animal from deck. I know I only have Negev Lions, Serpent, and Great Fish. Yeah. So nothing I can get there. So I restrict dominance, ban to Leviathan. I have an interrupt and a negate and a CVP bounce. So I feel good about this block if needed. Let's just play that. So I think between the numbers, the restricting dominance, and the negate and underdeck, I think it's a good block. I draw, upkeep. What do we want to do first for this? Usually I want to go to Storehouse and see what exactly I need. I like taking Stolen Blessing, upkeep, draw. See, you quickly get to hand limit and resources with this deck. It just was weird this time. Then again, we're like halfway, or we're pretty much done with the game at this point. So now we can bounce. We do want to bounce that. And if we bounce up to 2, then we can't draw anymore. And we kind of want to take an animal from reserve. Oh, then we don't get the draw. Oh, well, I did it. So now we do have Golgotha and we can activate the cross, but it's not activation. It's not, we can wait a little bit. Discard, do we want to take, is there a cloud card in there? No, sorry, Hezron, can't get you. But we can go to Faith of Samuel. So we can play that. Go to Faith of Samuel. Have that in deck. Go to Emmaus Road. Question mark. And we're probably going to go to Noah's Ark. I'll check deck just to do my due diligence. Like we're going to go with Jacob and we can get that. And we have a Faith of Samuel. So I don't think we need a star card. Oh, what am I doing? You go back in there. We would also play for sacrifice, see their hand. Now we can't recycle this, which does suck, but it's towards the end of the game. Remember, I have to shuffle. And then before I activate the cross, second coming. Now make sure I look at everything else. Is there anything I want? No. Put that down. Also, ta-da. I'm not going to need all that anymore. Now, if I need to, I could always flip over and go to Oath of Purity for Noah. But this should be ideally the last rescue. So now I do have a meek hero. So Isaac gets to draw. So what do we want to attack with first? Probably Jacob. And it's nice because a lot of this deck can draw after the block. So unless they're going lurking into a Foreign Wives, blue can't get around Foreign Wives yet. So it's very difficult sometimes, unless they, like I said, go to a lurking 2 Foreign Wives from reserve, the drawing can come afterwards. So you don't always have to draw. Like, okay, what happens if you get blocked with Foreign Wives? Then I get blocked with Foreign Wives, and then I don't draw the next attack. So I call out Jacob. We're gonna take Abe's Descendant, and if they block, they do anything. Now this deck is susceptible to Christian Martyr, so that's where I really like First Sacrifice and the Cross. So I can just come out with Jacob. They block. we do want to bring in a meek hero for additional protection. We have a meek hero for drawing, and then we're going to want to shuffle this and turn back our protection, because as of right now, he's not protected. There's enhancement in battle. So we go to Isaac. He gets a draw 2. Jeremiah, look at your hand. Noah shuffles this. Was everyone Cloud? 1, 2, 3, 4. Woohoo! We get a draw 3. Hey, what do you know? We got Faith Samuel back. So, which is funny. That works. So that's it. You're preventing cards moving forward, and you toss the next, and you have 2 heroes that are protected, and you still have Faith of Samuel for more interruption, another negate. If for somehow, some way, this card's actually really fun on Father Abraham. You can come out with Father Abraham and play Stolen Blessing and play an enhancement regardless of brigade. So you just play whatever they have, which is phenomenal. And then you can abandon Noah and Hezron if you want next turn, but Noah can then shuffle Stolen Blessing. And then, yeah, you quote unquote lose your band, but then you just come in with Hezron afterwards and get it back. So that's pretty much it. That's how the deck works. Cycle, Jeremiah, Noah, Jacob, and we're not like reliant on anyone because Numerous as Stars can get them all back. But we really like having Jeremiah and Noah. But we can still do other things. We still have like a 1/1 that's protected that can play stuff from your hand and pretty much always play first. Still have an 11/10 that's protected. You can ban to a meek hero and have protection through Mary. You do have Golden Cross Enosh. It can set up real quick. It can get what's needed. This was a slow start by this deck standards, but we were still able to immediately go to Jeremiah Noah. So we have strong attacks right from the start. So this is Cloud Patriarchs. The only thing different, it's only 3 Patriarchs, but I added Jeremiah. So like I said, I think Perez can come in. I do think that's a strong little attack where you can just bring in Perez and bounce them, and they don't really get special initiative because it's tossed unless they have multiple evil characters in battle. But if they have one evil character, you toss them and okay, I win that battle. If they have numerous evil characters, you can get rid of one of them, like especially a protected one. Like you go up against the Roman orange defense, Roman demons, and you interrupt the battle, bring in Jeremiah, bring in Perez, and then Perez bounces a character, so Red Dragon, whatever. And then Noah shuffles Faith of Samuel. So you can't really negate it. And then you toss the next thing as well. So I think Perez will go in here. But what for? Yeah, we have 9. We do like Jared. He doesn't have to be in there, but we do like Jared just to have that band. But like I said, it's nice because he converts. I mean, he can get that in a pinch, and he gets that. Bless the Nations used to be in reserve, so he could go out and grab something like another band card if I need one. That's kind of why he was in here, and then to Abe's Descendant into it. So maybe I just add Perez and just do 52 and continue to test with 52. So if you're still unsure how Perez works, and Perez bans to Hezron, you may bounce a character with strength greater than 2, may ban to Hezron or a Meek. So that's nice. So yeah, that is my Cloud Patriarchs. That is how, in my opinion, you make Patriarchs really good. You rinse and repeat. You can get back your heroes through Numerous as the Stars and Faith, because most of them are Cloud, especially the ones that you care about. Not that you don't care about you, Hezron, but I don't care about you. These are your Cloud heroes. You play your interrupts, negates, bans. They just kind of chill there. Shuffle in the card to give you protection on a lot of your people. That's why Melchizedek was in here, and I'm wondering if he goes in over Enoch, because Enoch stays in the deck and never comes out. Because Enoch, he does top deck a Cloud Hero from deck. That's nice. So if you don't get to go first, you get like a really good. The star abilities in this are great. You do get the top deck. Like, where's the top? Yeah, take a blue card from discard pile. That's really nice. I've done that with Leviathan. Literally went back to a Leviathan. That's hard to get rid of. So there's a lot there as well. So he's kind of like your oops, lost someone. So yeah, with Enoch, he protects this card and Meek blue heroes, which, as you saw, you're not doing a lot of the Meek blue, but Melchizedek Cloud protects Cloud heroes from a couple things. So he can go in, but you lose a green hero and a Cloud hero. So I'm not sure. Maybe Jared comes out for Melchizedek. I also thought of the teal purple Melchizedek to have another territory class character that, and a star character. For numerous has a stars, but also a territory class that they have to get around for with all the Sadducees and Pharisees being played. So I'm not too sure. But yeah, if you like anything, DM me, or you can make a comment on the YouTube video that I probably won't see and forget to respond to, but you can do it. I usually get some sort of notifications. What year is it? 2022. I should be able to see it. So yeah, that's it. That's Cloud Patriarchs. I'll post the video in Discord, and I think that is it for my morning. Cool. Thanks, y'all. And now I awkwardly sit here while I try to end the call.